61 News at 10 starts now.
Now at 10, it's the night before Halloween and kids across Connecticut are getting ready to go trick-or-treating. The important rules officials are sharing to make sure they are safe.
Plus the all-important Halloween forecast, whether you can expect a trick or a treat this year.
The city of Hartford seeing two separate shootings in just one night, one of them involving a 17-year-old boy, where the investigations currently stand. Plus, a community getting into the Halloween spirit a day early, the event that got 100 costume kids to flood the streets. The Fox 61 News at 10 starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the News at 10. I'm Carmen Chow. Police in New Britain and Bristol are investigating fatal pedestrian-involved vehicle accidents from yesterday. State police want to remind families as kids head out the door to trick or treat to be on alert for oncoming traffic. Fox 61's Tony Black is live in East Hartford with tips from police on how to keep the kids safe this Halloween. Tony?
Yeah, Carmen, tomorrow is probably one of the most exciting days for kids here in Connecticut. They get to dress up and eat as much candy as their parents will allow them to. Now, police want both those trick-or-treaters and those parents to stay safe, whether that be on crosswalks or even what they're wearing.
I can't wait to see them in their costumes.
Kids across Connecticut will put on their best Halloween costumes for trick-or-treating Monday night. 6-year-old Juliana Lord is looking forward to the spooky celebrations after school.
What are you going as for Halloween?
Jack the Skeleton.
Are you excited to go trick-or-treating?
Yes.
Halloween's one of the best times of year. The fall, the smell, and then seeing all the kids in their fun costumes and trick-or-treating.
While the night will be filled with fun and, of course,
Free candy.
police want trick-or-treaters to stay safe while out. A man was hit and killed Saturday in Bristol as he walked onto Pine Street. A few hours later, a 68-year-old man in New Haven was struck as he was crossing the street. That driver fled the scene. Sergeant Christine Jaltima with the Connecticut State Police says these are reminders to be safe when walking in the dark.
So one of the main things is carry a flashlight, have reflective type vests or tape or anything that could be reflective on themselves and their kids' costumes.
She says consider bringing along glow sticks to illuminate you and your children and put reflective vests on. Lord's mom, Jenny Rourke, says those are things the family will have as they trick-or-treat in East Hartford.
Me and Dad wear reflective vests, and their bags are reflective too. Obviously, we make sure everyone has like a flashlight or a glow light around their wrist.
Sergeant Jaltima says use sidewalks if your neighborhood has them. If not, try and stick as close to the side of the road as possible. And if you're going to be with a group of candied up kids, keep an eye on them.
So stay with your kids. If they're going up to a house and you want to stay on the sidewalk, just keep an eye on them. Again, don't be distracted. Just watch them.
For those behind the wheel Halloween night, she says keep the distractions, including the phone, down and stay aware of your surroundings.
One of our biggest rules with Halloween is they have to be holding somebody's hand.
Now, Sergeant Jaltima encourages people to use the buddy system while out trick-or-treating tomorrow night. She also says it's important to check the candy before the kids eat it just to make sure nothing's already been opened and that every piece of candy in that wrapper is what's supposed to be in that wrapper. Live in East Hartford, Tony Black, Fox 61 News.
Great tips to keep in mind for children and their parents. Thanks, Tony. And now to the weather watch. It was a chilly one overnight, but we saw a warm up this afternoon. Now, the big question is, how will Halloween look? Here is meteorologist Ryan Breton. Hey, Ryan.
Hi, Carmen. Hi, everybody. It's actually a little deceiving. If you look at the satellite radar to our west, you might think we're in for quite a lot of rain tomorrow. But that really won't be the case. There's some dry air over southern New England, so we will get some of the cloud cover associated with that rain, but not much in the way of rain until perhaps tomorrow night when there's a sprinkle or a shower that comes on through. Tonight, with the clouds starting to move in, it will not be as chilly as last night. Some of us started this morning in the 20s. Tomorrow morning, we'll have lows in the 40s in southern Connecticut, 30s in northern Connecticut, and there may be some areas of dense fog, especially in central and eastern parts of the state near the Connecticut River. For tomorrow, it is a mild day. Despite increased cloud cover, some breaks of sunshine at times. High temperatures tomorrow that get back up into the lower and mid 60s, well above average for Halloween. 65 the high tomorrow in Hartford, 64 in New Haven, 64 in Norwich, and 65 degrees in Waterbury as well. Nothing scary about tomorrow night's forecast. A mild Halloween, temperatures around 60 at 5 or 6 o'clock, and then dropping into the 50s once the sun sets with just an isolated shower. But most people should get trick-or-treating in just fine. The week ahead as we start November looks warm. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Ryan, thank you. We have breaking news out of Hartford. East Hartford police say 21-year-old Makey Thompson was arrested in Hartford earlier today after a pursuit. They say he was driving a stolen car and had over $1.1 million in bonds. This is a developing story, and we will continue to provide details as soon as we learn more. New tonight, Waterbury police have identified the victim of a fatal accident that happened Friday morning. They say 20-year-old Joshua Rodriguez of Waterbury was found dead in his car in a wooded area near the intersection of North Main Street and Bucks Hill Road. The 23-year-old woman also found in the car was transported to the hospital and is expected to be okay. The city of Hartford seeing two separate shootings overnight, one taking place on Edgefield Street and another at the intersection of Bond Street and Maple Avenue. We will take you to Edgewood first, where a 17-year-old boy was shot crashing his car into a utility pole. Hartford police say just before midnight they responded to the area after reports of gunshots. They found the 17-year-old alert and conscious in his vehicle. Hartford police say he was suffering from a gunshot wound and was transported to a nearby hospital. His condition is currently unknown and police are still investigating exactly what happened. And near Maple Avenue and Bond Street, police say a man in his 30s was shot around 2:30 in the morning. The man managed to make it to Hartford Hospital, and police say his wounds are non-life threatening. Police are still investigating why the man was shot and ask that anyone with information reach out to them. The state continuing to mourn the loss of the two fallen Bristol officers. This morning, an event was held to honor those heroes. A benefit motorcycle and car ride was held at the Farmington Club to pay tribute and to honor the lives of Lieutenant Dustin DeMonte and Sergeant Alex Hamzy and Officer Iorato. Officer Iorato was the surviving officer in the shooting ambush who was able to take down the suspect. A water main break in East Hartford is causing big trouble on the road and restricting access to water for some homeowners. Here's a look at the area where it happened. That break started by just 6 inches of pipe, has led to a 15 by 15 foot hole being dug at the intersection of Bedford Avenue and Dunham Lane. Crews from the Metropolitan District Commission of Connecticut, the city's regional water authority, are working on fixing it. There is still no definitive time as to when it will be fixed. And setting our sights back on how nutmeggers across the state are celebrating spooky season, check out Wallingford's Trunk or Treat event. 100 kids got to put on their costumes a day early and do some trunk trick-or-treating. Elevate Life Church on John Street held their first trunk or treat with dozens of decorated cars. Trunks decorated in themes like Jurassic Park, pirates, and Under the Sea welcomed kids to grab a treat. The church's lead pastor says they are about community and helping families every day of the week.
It just means a lot to me personally, but it also means a lot to our families and our members of our church that we can just love on kids and help kids, know that they're loved.
I kind of like Halloween, so I want to come here and get some candy and have some fun.
Now, based on the smiles and turnout from their first event, the pastor says he's sure they will make it an annual tradition. Now in Glastonbury, runners are taking to the streets with a purpose. And keeping with a Halloween theme, it's called The Devil Made Me Do It Road Race. It's the 10th year in a row this event was organized and benefits the animal rescue organization of Kenway's cause. Runners got to traverse the roads of Great Swamp before plunging into the eerie trails of Addison Bog and its many twists and turns. And if you're celebrating Halloween this year, send us a picture of a creative costume or decoration you're proud of. Share it through the Fox 61 News app or tag us on social media for a chance to be featured in a show.